everybody. Well, I thought I would do a really quick chat with you and Leo over there. And I'm wearing another hat. Now, this is still Patton's classic wool. This is I found these two skeins. This actually took 114 grams, so it's a bit more, flattens my hair, a little bit more than one full skein. But I found it in the back of a drawer. I knitted 2 shawls out of this yarn, this color. Beautiful shawls. I gave one to my mother, kept one for myself. Anyway, I'd forgotten I had 2 more skeins, so I made one hat. I think it's a little bit bigger. Bye-bye, Leo. Leaving. Then that blue one. I think maybe I still like the blue one the best. But I thought I'd wear this so you could just see there's another hat. I'll make a few more and then I'll probably, you know how it is, I'll get tired of hats and I'll move on to something else. Leo is picking the yarn wrapper out of the trap. What are you doing? What are you doing? All right, I thought I would chat just a little bit about the last video, which was my little story, the Thanksgiving mice. I know I've probably talked about these before, but it's been a long time and I really haven't done anything. Okay, just ignore the sound of the cat fiddling on the floor. I haven't done anything with these stories in a long time, and I just wanted to mention them. I do like to write, and I like to write little stories, and I like to paint. So before I ever started painting cards, I started doing these children's stories. The first one is called Pumpkin and the Littlest Mouse. And Pumpkin was a real chicken that I had. She's long since gone the way of all flesh. And I was just messing around, having fun. The illustrations, I think, are quite inferior. I went back and made them brighter. And anyway, I've been dissatisfied with the illustrations because I'm a very, very amateur painter. And back when I did that, which was probably 2015, maybe 2016, 2015, I was not any good at all. And so then I did the Thanksgiving mice, which is a fun little story. The stories take all of like, you know, an hour to come up with in your brain, but then they take forever to paint. What in the world is going on? Oh. All right, let me put that over there. So the Thanksgiving mice, that one turned out better. The illustrations are a bit better. The story's very fun. And so that one was better. And I did get copies of these printed at my local printer where I get my cards done. And they weren't too expensive, but you know, and I sold them at the farmer's market. It took a long time to sell them, and it was okay, but it was just kind of a lot of bother, and I was like, I just don't want to mess with it. And so these are my originals, and I kind of put them away. I would take pictures of with my phone, take pictures of the illustration, the pages, because the way I did it was terrible. First of all, let me show you all the things I did wrong. Oh, I'm wearing an orange shirt today in honor of the Thanksgiving mice. But when I did this, this is a good example. I hand wrote the story in there and interspersed it with the illustrations. And sometimes, let me see if I can find a good example. Sometimes the lettering would get really close, like down here or over here. It's actually going on to his ear or her ear. So the lettering and the illustrations were just kind of all together. And the other thing that's wrong with it is that it is in portrait mode. And really, I should have done it in landscape mode this way, but I didn't. And so even the bigger pictures like this one is just going all the wrong way. And when I realized that I had done it all wrong, I didn't want to go back and redo the whole thing. I actually started repainting some of the illustrations. I got about 6 of them done in here on 9x12 pieces of paper. Really nice, really bright, really clean. Then I realized I could scan the images when I started scanning things, and so that was a thought. But I just had no idea how to put the whole book together. And I thought, well, I could try to scan everything, do text, send it to the printer, but the idea of repainting all the illustrations was a bit overwhelming. So then I wrote a third book. Of course, sorry. I was walking in the yard one day and saw this little I don't know if it was dead or alive. It was this little teeny animal that looked like a little hairless mouse baby, but it was a shrew. And it was after a storm. There was a lot of rain. Maybe it drowned anyway. So I wrote the story called The Rescue of William Shrew. And this was the last one, so my painting was more practiced. And so this was probably 2019, maybe. I don't really know when I did that. Maybe I could go back and find out. So I wrote the story again. I wrote everything in there. I did all of the illustrations. Never did anything with it. Stuck it in the bag. And by that time, that was kind of how I felt about it. Is I like these stories. They're fun to do. I guess I'm doing them just for me. And then I just decided I would move on to other things. I started painting cards and painted a lot of cards. Okay. Oh, there's Mr. Sparky. Did you hear it? And then the thing that happened, I started the YouTube channel, and at some point I started doing thumbnails. Now, you guys may not know what thumbnails are, but they're these little rectangular, it's like a little teeny card that goes with your video. And when people see your video, they'll see that you're supposed to have your face in there and some other cute, bright pictures and maybe a little text. And it's supposed to kind of draw people in. So I found an online program where I could make thumbnails. So it's just that, it's that landscape shape, okay? And canva.com is really, really good about giving you can custom size the things you do. So something finally clicked in my very slow brain. And a couple days ago, I went in there and started messing with it and watched a video or two about somebody who was using Canva to assemble her children's book with illustrations and text. And I knew that I could adjust images. I could make them bigger and smaller. I could turn them sideways. I could block things out if I needed to. I could put the text wherever I wanted on the page. And I thought, I bet I can make this work. So I fiddled with it all day long, and I scanned the images from the Thanksgiving mice, imported them there, just messed with it forever, and finally got something that I felt like I could put in images on a YouTube video and then do a voiceover and read the story aloud. So I think it's a cute story. If you've got children, let's say anywhere from about 5 to 6 years old to even up to maybe 4th grade, they would like to either have it read aloud to them or read it on their own. Plus, they love it because it's on a screen. You know how that is. The vocabulary may be a little advanced for like a 5-year-old, but honestly, they'll get the gist of the story, and it's a good way for them to learn new vocabulary in context. They'll hear it and maybe not know exactly what it means, but they'll get it after a while. So there's the story, free for you to use. It is under copyright, of course, and the illustrations as well, but that doesn't mean you can't share the video. You can share it all you like. And it is dedicated to my 4 grandbabies. And this was the thing that motivated me, was we had our son and daughter-in-law and grandbaby here week and a half ago. And she mentioned that she and my grandbaby watch all my YouTube videos. I had no idea. Hello, guys. Love you. And I was like, oh my goodness. And so he can hear my voice and see my face and that kind of thing. But I thought, they're quickly getting to the age when these books would be perfect for them. My oldest grandchild is now 3. And I would love for these books to be available to them. I think they all have hard copies, but I thought it might be fun to have them on my YouTube station as a read aloud for my grandchildren, but also for yours and for your children. So I began to realize that the point with these things is not to wait until they're perfect and get them published somewhere. That's not me. If I were still 30, maybe I would think that I could jump into the publishing world. That never worked for me. But I do think it's important to just get your stuff out there as soon as you can when it's in a reasonable format, and make as many people happy with it as you can. And that's really what I want to do. So I thought I'm going to throw these stories out there, and if they make 10 people happy, that's fine. And if they make 100 people happy, that's fine. So soon, maybe even the next video after this one, I'll be putting The Rescue of William Shrew up. And I worked on the pages of that yesterday and was rereading it and just was giggling because I think it's cute. Anyway, so that's kind of it. Okay, I talked about the hat, talked about my grandchildren, talked about the stories. I think that's all. I'm still spinning. Oh, no, I know what I was going to talk about just real briefly is the next thing that I love this felting. It does flatten one's hair. It's like a football helmet. This is so much fun. It's like you take something that's floppy and big and ugly and you throw it in the washing machine, and when you go get it, it magically has transformed into something cool like that. It is magic. It's felting magic. Yeah, here's my little bag. I forgot. I couldn't remember if I'd already showed you the other hats, but I had. But now I've got, okay, I'm just going to do this right now. This one doesn't go all the way down on my head like it just, I think it would on a normal person's head, but not on mine. So there's that one. You can go ahead and click off. I'm just going to use my camera as a mirror. That one just basically rests on my head. That one's small again. I need to stretch that one out. Interesting. I think I did felt it longer. Okay, the next thing that I want to felt are slippers. Everybody's making knitted, felted slippers, and they last a really long time, and they're nice and sturdy. And I have all of this, this kind of yarn. Yeah, I better stretch this one back out. If there ever were a head that were good for stretching out hats, it's my head. All right, that's all for right now. I know that's real fast, but I'll see you soon. Thanks for coming by.